Hi everybody. Hello. Today it's quite late. It's just coming up to 4 o'clock in the afternoon at the end of November, so it's quite dark, dismal. So I'm hoping it's going to be bright enough in here to do a little film. But I wanted to show you a few techniques on how to do snow. So I've got 4 sections here. We're going to look at how to use salt, splattering, lifting, and just using brushes. And I'm going to first of all just take a Chinese brush or a wash brush or something like that, wet it in clean water. I have 2 pots, one for cleaning my brushes and another for mixing my colours. I'm just going to pick up a dark blue. Now you can use an ultramarine, but I'm just going to use an indigo or a phthalo blue, mainly because the technique will stand out better. And I'm just going to put this down on the splattering section. And the reason why I'm doing this is so that I can let this dry off because I need to splatter on top of it. And onto the lifting section. Now I'm going to do this in 2 sections. I'm going to put one section down here because we're going to learn how to lift off snow on already dry watercolour, and then later I will re-wet this and lift it off on wet watercolour. And then on the brush section, I'm just going to fill this in. It's just quickly. I mean, if you're doing a proper painting, then obviously you would put your wash down a little bit more carefully than this, but it's just test sheets. All right, so what you want to do is let that dry. So the second technique is called splattering, and we're going to use some gouache paint for this. You can use acrylic, but I use gouache. This is the gouache that you need. Permanent white, series 1. This is Winsor & Newton. Excuse me. And I've just put a bit on a palette, and I've just added a bit of water until it goes to a sort of a single cream consistency. Too much water and it will just go everywhere, and too little water and it just won't come off the brush. And what you want is an old tired sort of acrylic brush or a toothbrush or something like that. Okay, experiment with your solution and your brushes. And also it does go everywhere, so get some paper towels or bits of newspaper and just put whatever you've got around the edges where you don't want it to go. And you can even do that with your work. So for example, if this down here is going to be a lake or something like that with a sky, and you just want the snow to be in the sky, then cover the bottom section up, and then you won't have snow in areas that you don't want it to be in. So you just then take your brush and you hold it. Now again, it really depends on the height above or close to the picture that you're working on as to what sort of mark you get. If you hold it close, you get little tiny marks like this. Can you see? I'm just flicking very gently like that, and you can see that they're tiny little specks of white gouache. And you need the white gouache because white watercolour will not stand out on your coloured backgrounds. Some people do this with masking fluid, so they'll flick the masking fluid down first, let it dry, then wash their sky on, and then they peel the masking fluid off, so it leaves the white of the watercolour paper left behind. So that's another effective technique. If you hold it higher, so if you hold the brush higher up, what you tend to find is that the marks will change shape slightly. So they may, depending on how heavy-handed you are, you may end up with sort of almost like teardrop shaped spots, which, you know, in some cases can be really lovely, but it really depends on the final finish as to how you do this. And again, it's just practice. It's practicing getting the consistency of the paint correct, the type of brush that you use, and also the paper that you use. Another good technique that you can use this for is if you just want to make some rain. So what you would do is put your sky colour down, let it dry off completely, then splatter just water on top of your surface, and then take a paper towel, rest it down onto the work, and then lift it off. And what that will do is it will lift off small dots on the blue background, and it'll make it look like it's raining. Okay, leave that to dry. You can add to it. You can even just go in with a normal paintbrush and put some larger snow drops in if you wanted to. Okay, have fun with that, but it is practice. And remember to cover up. You can see it's splattered here, but where I put it on this is my paint box up here, it hasn't splattered at all because I covered the surface up. Okay, have fun.